Hi, my name is Christian Ozis, and for my independent investigation project, I chose to read A Separate Piece by John Knowles. And the reason why I chose this book is because that I was very surprised to see a coming of age book like this being challenged by so many schools, since I thought that the story fits well with high school age students. I really wanted to focus on why it is so controversial if it seems as if it's intended for teenagers. A little about this book is while attending a summer session of 1942 at Devon Boarding School in New Hampshire, uh, Phineas, otherwise known as Finney, becomes friends with his roommate, Gene Forrester, and one day that Gene and Finney and a few other students started hanging around a tree, Finney and Gene decide to make a jump. Gene decides to do it as well. Although frightened, he follows, and later that day, the two boys actually, Gene and Finney, go back to that same tree to do the same jump, and they wanted to make a ritual called the Secret Suicide Society. And with just that, I can see also why this book has been so controversial. However, I will keep explaining some background. Shortly after, Gene and Finney become friends and develop the Secret Suicide Society. They keep going back to finish their rivalry and pact and jump off the tree branch again. However, this time, after Gene jumps, Finney gets a little bit scared and doesn't want to jump. And when Finney reaches the end of the branch, Gene's knees bend and shake, causing the branch to shake and Finney to fall and shatter his leg, causing them to go to the doctor. After visiting the doctor, Gene feels very wary about the situation and guilty, wanting to tell Finney. However, the doctor interrupts. Not being able to tell Finney, they keep going on into school. Going on into school, there is now a war going on, and Gene wants Finney to enlist. However, Finney wants Gene to take his place in a well-known athletic competition at the school, so they begin to train for the 1944 Olympics instead of training to go to war. And what I found really interesting is throughout the novel, they act as almost if there's no war going on. They just keep training and training. And as time goes on, they have a new friend called Brinker, and he starts to get suspicious about how Finney fell, so he decides to organize a courtroom hearing to question the two about the circumstances following the fall. However, at this time that they go into the court, Finney doesn't seem to remember anything and not expressing any details, so they bring somebody who was there at the time, another student, Leaper, to explain what he saw that day. And Leaper explains during the courtroom hearing what he had saw that day. However, Finney denies it, rushes out of the courtroom, runs down the stairs, and breaks his leg again. Shortly after that, Finney is rushed to the infirmary, and Gene rushes after to apologize and explain to him what he had did was not out of hatred, and Finney finally was able to hear him out and accept his apology. However, when Gene leaves and heads back later on, the doctor had come out to Gene and explained that during surgery, some bone marrow detached from his bone had entered into his bloodstream, going directly to his heart and killing Finney. And when Gene realized the news, he couldn't believe it. However, Gene went along to graduate with Brinker and go off to war, moving on from their life. While reading this book, I did not encounter as many swear words as I thought there would be due to the challenges that had happened, saying that it contained very filthy language and graphic language. Some of the things that I had noticed, as it seemed like it was named as a filthy, trashy sex novel when it was challenged, is the only thing is there seems to be almost a homosexual feeling between Finney and Jean. That is why it had been banned or felt like a sex novel, just because there are some quotes of Jean and Finney getting flustered around each other, and that in sort turned into a very trashy homosexual novel that people didn't see needed to be in the school systems. So, according to the American Library Association, the book A Separate Piece was one of the top 100 novels of the 20th century that were banned or challenged, and it was said to be banned, like I had said, to it being a filthy or trashy sex novel, and that being is that many people thought, like I said, there was a sexual attraction between Jean and Finney, and some of the quotes that people had thought were a little homosexual was on page 71, where he says his skin radiated a reddish copper glow of tan. His brown hair had been a little bleached by the sun, and I noticed that the tan made his eyes shine with a cool blue-green fire. And some other quotes that had made people feel that this was some sort of filthy sex novel.